I hope everybody is doing well. I don't have any slides today. The most important thing is we're going into September, and I see that there is a lot of new people on this call, and a lot of that is, of course, probably prompted by the Walmart Allstate opportunity that we have to where you can sit in a store and so on and so forth. And sometimes the content of this call, especially for people like you, Billy, may be a little bit repeated or seem like it's some of the same stuff, but there's always going to be things that I might put in there that are nuggets of wisdom just from 10 years of experience that has helped. Plus, I'm out selling this stuff every single day. I wake up, who do I have that I can sell Allstate to today? And it's not that I don't like the other carriers or I don't think about what's best for the client, because at the end of the day, it is always what's best for the client, right? I mean, that's at the end of the day. That's why I'm certified doing Medicare certifications and so on and so forth for Medicare Advantage, because there might be some people that Medicare supplement is not the best option. Or there might be somebody who I've got to go with something that is a little bit more lenient underwriting. If I've got somebody who wants a Medicare supplement, but maybe they don't pass traditional underwriting with Allstate. So it's not that Allstate's the only carrier I sell, but Allstate is, they really honestly have, for 80 to 90% of my clients, outside of just the ACA, they have products I can offer to every single client. And that's the way I look at it. Now, if I want whole life, obviously I'm not going with an Allstate product. I'm going with something else. I'm going with, I'm going to go to Back Nine and I'm going to quote that way. Or if I'm looking for long-term care, or if I'm looking for a product like that. We do have a lot of new people on the call. And one of the things that is so important right now is we are literally, you've got September, October, November, December. You've got 4 months until the end of the year. And a big chunk of that is the open enrollment period for not only those of you who do Medicare, and will have new Medicare people coming to you that you've never met, but also those of you who do individual health, or those of you just getting started and going, where do I fit in? Where do I, what do I grab a hold of and say, okay, where can I go make some quick money? Some of you are brand new licensed. I know we've had several brand new licensed people very interested in going and doing the Walmart opportunity, because it gives them, an opportunity to get out and meet folks. And one of the things that I felt, and that has been, I've spent money on marketing. I've never lost money on marketing, right? I've never lost money if I go and spend $500 on a Facebook ad. That comes back tenfold. I usually make $5,000 if I spend $500. If it's an effective marketing, it's not, doesn't look bad, and it's an effective and has a call to action. I've always made money on marketing. Then I've also made money on indirect marketing. But what I can say for sure, hands down, that has made me the most money over the years is getting out, shaking hands and kissing babies, literally. Getting out, using my legs, not being lazy, going to networking meetings, going and sponsoring community events around town. Thursday I have a call with a payroll company. I happen to have a contact from years ago that I actually used to work with that reached out to me. She knows I do insurance. Why does she know I do insurance? Because I do the same thing on Facebook that I do in person, is I let people know. I share my business posts to my personal page. She got individual insurance for me. She's back in Oklahoma. I haven't seen the gal in 7 years. She knows I do insurance because I network on my Facebook. I communicate with people. I stay active on, people from high school, all people that could potentially be clients. I put that out there. I've just started figuring out the world of Instagram, which is a whole other can of worms. But those are some things that you can do to get you, in the game and in the hunt now, because guys, you have 4 months, and what you're doing today is a direct result of what your income is in 90 days. Whether you're new in the business, old in the business, been in the business 10 years, it doesn't matter. What you're doing today is a direct reflection of what your income is in 90 days from now. If you're new in the business and you want to be getting advances with Allstate, we do have the 3-month advance opportunities. A matter of fact, I didn't mean to be on advances, but I think I must be, because all of a sudden I got a big check the other day. I'm like, wait, what? And that is new because I don't do advances. So one of the things you want to look at is, what kind of income do you want to make? And if you're new in the business, you may not know how to put that into a, how much do I need to sell? How much do I need to make? One of the things that I'm going to say is, I feel like in the under 65 market, the Affordable Care Act plans, they're low hanging fruit, as well as, really short-term medical. Some of you are ready to go after groups, and we have a phenomenal group program and chamber different opportunities for the group as well. But I'm going to focus this call today more on the individual and the Medicare supplement side, because these are people that you're going to meet when you're going out shaking hands and kissing babies, as I call it, or going out and promoting your business on Facebook. You're going to get some groups through that. And where most of my groups come from is from referral sources, just like that payroll network that I have. Apparently, like, it's turning into where I'm on the call with multiple people across the country, which could potentially lead to referrals, not only for me, but for you that do group, because they don't have a broker, they don't offer benefits, and they need a broker that they know, like, and trust to be a referral partner. Well, I don't work in every state. And if it's a group of 10, I'm not going to fly to like New York or wherever. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not that, I'm going to send it to whoever's writing business up in New York for Allstate. And so those are some things to think about, is where can you go and get those referral sources as we go into, and you need to be starting now. I mean, they really should have started 2 months ago, but you really need to be starting now. So number one, what is your income goal? What is your goal for open enrollment? How much income do you want to make? And then what you want to look at is, how can I work? And this, you're going to hear me say this all the time, because I'm a single mama and there's a lot going on in my life. I've got a senior that's in varsity soccer and apparently has a new passion for golf, and that's expensive as all get out. And then I've got another one that he's still trying to figure out what sports he likes. He goes to a totally different school than the other one because I moved him into private school. And so I'm keeping up with 2 calendars, 2 schedules, car maintenance on my car and my son's car, and everything else that goes into being a single mom. So the one thing that I have to ask myself is, am I working as smart as I possibly can to reach my goal? Because to be honest, my boy's dad, I get like $100 a month from him. It's all on me. And it's because it doesn't manage his money well. It's not that he doesn't intend to do more. I always get big talk and little action, right? And so I have to make that income. I have to be able to pay for what I've committed to. And so when I set a goal, I have to know my number to grow my number. That is something, if you're taking notes, write it down. You have to know the number to grow the number. Some of you may be doing this part-time and go, okay, I just need to make an extra $2,000 a month. Maybe you have a spouse that provides most of the income, or maybe you're doing this as a retirement income, which, I mean, I don't think I'll ever retire, because there's always going to be something for me to do and something for me to sell. And it doesn't require my legs as much because we've got social media and I've got a referral business. So you get to that place, you go, okay, how can I leverage this opportunity and this licensing to be able to get out and do it? Because there's so much money to be made in insurance in general, whether you're focusing on life, whether you're focusing on individual, whether you're focusing on Medicare, it doesn't matter. I suggest you do it all. ACA is my least favorite thing to do. I'm just going to say that. It's a lot of extra work on making sure income documents are provided. They seem to be the ones that are in the ACA market just seem to be, especially the lower income, seem to be more of a time consuming thing. But I'm going to tell you, it's also the low hanging fruit. It also, I will say, I make about 60 to 70,000 a year of my income off ACA, just the ACA, not including what I'm cross selling with Allstate, right? Then you add in a dental, and dental is a 30% commission. You add in accident, you add in some of these other plans that are 40% commission, and some of them are even up to 70 and 80% commission. Now you're talking about, if you do $100 cross sell on every client, or let's just say on average of 100, because there's going to be clients that are you get a goose egg, and there's going to be clients that you cross sell $250. I had a sale the other day that I cross sold $700 worth of Allstate. Why? Well, how was I able to do that? First of all, I was able to do an indemnity plan added to their ACA plan because they did get a subsidy. They were pretty high income. They added the fundamentals indemnity plan because they wanted access occasionally if they wanted to go out of network from what their ACA plan offered. It gives them a network, a PPO network that they could tap into. They also like the protection of, hey, if I qualify for this subsidy, and so now I'm going from a $1,400 COBRA plan to a $900 bundle, including their ACA plan. They were able to add dental and vision, which is an easy sell. You should be offering it to every client. which gets discounted, by the way, once you add on accident or another supplemental. Allstate's the only carrier we have that does that. The accident policies with Allstate are phenomenal. You can do a $10,000. Okay, so in 2023, the Affordable Care Act plans had a max out of pocket, even on gold plans, a lot of them, a 9,100. So next year it's probably going to be closer to 95 or 9,700. So the average person does not even have $1,000 in the bank to cover medical bills. So adding on for a family a $40 or $50 accident plan that's going to cover their entire max out of pocket if something happens, they are going to thank you later whenever you add that, right? And by the way, the accident plan is like 40% commission. And I have all these commission schedules, by the way, posted in our Facebook Allstate group. So you can go and you can do the math and go, okay, what am I making on additional on this sale, so that you can go back and, as you know your number, to grow your number with your goal setting, you can go, okay, I need to do an average of this much per client and I need to get this many clients. So if you say, okay, I'm going to bring on, 50 new ACA clients at $100 a month in extra commission, well, then you're making an extra, let's just say 100 times 50 is a $5,000 a month in premium at an average of 40% commission. That's an extra $2,000 you make in addition to what you sell in ACA. 2,000 for 50 clients at 100. That's easy. If they're families, the dental's more than that automatically. The dental's more than that. You're going to be more like 200 if you're adding dental to everybody, right? So there's that opportunity to add that. Allstate's quoting engine makes it super easy to stack and allows people, you can now actually email, it just became available where you can actually email over a proposal to a client. And then from there, you can apply. I will tell you, it's a little glitchy. I actually did one yesterday and I had the proposal built. They emailed it. They looked at it. They had all the information they needed. But then when I went to apply, I actually had to go back and rebuild it. It's just because Allstate is enhancing that platform and making those changes. So I didn't just stop and go, okay, the application's not loading. I just went and was like, okay, what did I build? Okay, I build it again and click apply, and then it worked just fine. So, those are some things there. But as far as emailing proposal, that's active and live now. You can always start with more and go down. So if you go and you say, okay, this person seems to be concerned about network access on an ACA plan. They make $130,000 a year. Okay, first of all, how do I know they make $130,000 a year? Because I have a JOT form. I created a JOT form. On that qualifying form, I send it to every single person. I send it to every single person as soon as they contact me. Whether I talk to them on phone, whether they Facebook message me, which happens a lot, whether they contact me on Instagram, whether they contact me through email. I got an email last night from somebody referred by somebody. I don't even know who the heck the person is. And she said, I need health insurance information. I'm 64. My husband's on Medicare. And I'm sitting here going, okay, perfect. But I'm going to send the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send the information request form. And what's on that form is your basic information. Names of everybody in the household, dates of birth, of course. Is there anybody that's in the household that counts in the tax household that is not going to be on the plan? Well, why do I need that information? Because if I'm going to go see if they're eligible for subsidies, I can't just have this one person's information if they're the only one on the plan. I have to know there's 3 other people in the household that are on the tax return, right? And if they're on that tax return, then it helps to potentially lower the amount of that they have to pay on their premium. So I know that they're in the household. The key is they have to be in the tax household. And I suggest if you're new to ACA, get on Christina's calls because she's training on how the modified adjusted gross income works and how all of that stuff works. My focus is the Allstate stuff. So then you do that, you ask their income. I always ask prescriptions. So important. Number one, if it's Medicare, I've got to know that anyways. Number two, I ask those prescriptions because those prescriptions are a look into what health conditions do we have going on here. Oh, we've got some blood pressure and cholesterol. Okay, their income's too high for a subsidy. I can still go short-term medical on that if they're in a state that offers that, or specified care in a state that maybe short-term medical is not a full 12-month plan, or 24, 36 months, right? So those questions are all there. Income is on there. Now, sometimes you'll have to kind of walk the client through what income you're looking for, especially if they're self-employed. And then you've got, are there doctor preferences? Well, now you're finding out what is a value to that person. You're finding out they have 5 different doctors. Okay, maybe they're pretty healthy. They have 5 different doctors, but the ACA plans in your area don't, like in Texas, it's tight. If I have somebody that has 5 different doctors, chances are they're not keeping all of them. It's just kind of the way it goes. And so you want to qualify. I will put, Arlene is asking, can you send us a copy of your information request form? Yes, what I will do is, because it's easier for me to just post it to the Facebook page. You can email me personally if you don't have access to Facebook, but I will post it on the Facebook page. I'll post my link so you can see that. Don't fill it out, because then I'm going to get a bunch of random that are non-clients, but I will post what it is so you can see what questions I'm asking. And I'm doing it through JotForm. And then of course now, because of ACA compliance, you have to have a little compliance disclosure that I haven't added to mine yet. I'm doing that separately still, because that's just one more thing I have to do administratively. So you want to qualify your clients and find out if you know and here's another thing, if you know their budget, you know what they currently have, then you're able to kind of go, okay, this is what they're currently paying, so I know they can afford that. So that's how you're going to maximize your sales and work smarter, not just work hard. Protect the client in as many ways as possible. Christina talked a couple weeks ago when I had her on the call. She talked about a client that she just didn't even sell an accident plan to, because they were low income and they got the cost sharing reduction on the marketplace. So their max out of pocket was $1,500. Well, guess what happened? That client didn't have $1,500 in the bank and is now on a payment plan that's higher than what the $13 premium to add the $2,500 accident medical expense plan would have been. $13. I guarantee some of these people that you think, okay, well, they can't afford any supplemental. I guarantee you they're going to Starbucks at least twice a month or something like that. They're eating out at least once a month. They're spending that $13 somewhere, right? It's up to us as agents to bring the value in that. And accidents are the number one thing. In 10 years, I will tell you, yeah, it's not a $250,000 claim most of the time, unless it happens to be a snake bite. I live in Texas. I've had 2 clients with venomous snake bites. So that ends up being a $250,000 claim, like that. Antivenom is $14,000 a vial. Yikes. So they're going to hit their max out of pocket on an ACA plan. They're going to hit their max out of pocket on a short-term medical. They're going to hit all of that if they're bitten by a snake. One guy was just watering his garden at dusk and a cottonmouth bit his foot. Not kidding. And he's an ER doctor. Thankfully, he knew where to go for antivenom, but he had insurance in place. Thankfully, he didn't have the whole, like, I'm an ER doctor, I don't need it. No, he knows he needs it. And that was one of those fluke things. They expected the claims on their plan to be the autistic son, not the healthy dad, right? So protecting your clients is key. You want to make sure that you're covering that. You'll hear me preach. I am not a big proponent of selling just an indemnity plan as a major medical to somebody. I'm not. And the reason is because of those snakebite cases. $250,000 in 2 days, an indemnity plan is just not going to cut that. So that's one of those things you want to think about. So qualifying your client is so important, and knowing what bucket do they fall into. That's also important for another reason that you're going to hear me talk about, is working smarter, not just working hard. And I'm not being a snob here, being stuck up here. I'm being real here. Whenever you have somebody that you know has income that is 15,000 or less, number one, you can't do that much of a service to them because they don't have a whole lot to play with. But number two, you're not going to be able to sell them a life insurance. You're not going to be able to sell them. You may not even get dental. You can try, but I mean, to me, the accident plan is the most realistic sell on that. But if you've got 5 prospects coming in and you're bombarded and you're overwhelmed and you're going, who do I get to first? Well, for me, if it's a group, I'm in first, just the way it is, because the least amount of work on the backside after I write the policy If it's a high income, I'm on it. There's no wavering. If it's a lower income that I really think, okay, maybe I can get an accident plan, whatever, I'm literally sending them a link with their quote, letting them review it themselves. And even some of them are enrolling themselves through Health Sherpa. I still get credit for the sell because I sent the link, or I'm emailing them with responses because I can email faster because I get chatty on the phone. I know this about me. I get chatty on the phone, like building rapport and all of those things, which isn't a bad thing, right? But I need to spend that time with people that I can grow a business in, that are still going to be my clients 5 years from now, that are going to transition over to Medicare with me, that are going to that are self-employed, and maybe they're going to have employees in 3 years and they can transition over to a group plan, and so on and so forth. So those are so important. Every single client, there is a product through Allstate that you can bundle. And I suggest you start high and go down. So like, the indemnity plans have the First Health limited benefit PPO network that adds an additional stream of network to what they're doing. You don't need that necessarily in the short-term medical, except for if you're doing a high deductible short-term medical, then the indemnity plan is a great place. I personally have major medical, indemnity plan, cancer plan, accident plan. I've got boys in sports, boys, and just in general, I have boys. And I do CrossFit. I could get injured, right? So those are certainly things that, well, and I'm clumsy too. Let's just be honest. I'm clumsy. I could, yesterday I hit the, I was doing a clean and jerks and I hit my chin. I've got a bruise right here. I hit my chin with the barbell. It happens. It just is what it is. Not anything major, but I felt my teeth kind of click together. I was like, oh, what was that? So it just happens. I've had clients walking on a gravel trail, break their ankle, and need a $14,000 surgery. Again, accidents are the most common thing. Cancer is the most expensive thing. I've had clients that I covered ACA, indemnity, critical illness, accident, all of the above, have a widowmaker heart attack 4 months after their policy was in place. Do you think they were ever mad that I sold them a critical illness policy? Nope, they went to Bora Bora once he got better. He was able to take that money and go to Bora Bora. They send me tons of referrals. He's a pastor in Oklahoma, and 52. He never would have thought that he would have had, and he's in phenomenal shape. Like, you never would have thought for a second that he would have a widowmaker heart attack at 52, but he did. And those are the type of things that you want to say. Another thing is facts tell, stories sell. It's not bad to put in facts in there, but stories are what's going to sell. Stories are what's going to sell your client on why they need that. The cottonmouth story of watering in his garden, bitten by a cottonmouth, boom, $250,000 claim. Why you need a catastrophic plan in place. Why you need an accident plan in place if you don't know how to cover that 9,100 max out of pocket or that 10,000 max out of pocket. So you've got that. So a couple of products that I want you to be aware of that are extremely affordable, other than the accident. The hospital expense plan C. Okay, now there's several different levels of it. It's under when you go into the Allstate quoting, it's under the indemnity section, but it's at the bottom. It's not a full indemnity. The hospital expense plan C is a $5,000 benefit if somebody's in the hospital. It's a $2,500 if they're under observation. A lot of indemnity plans don't cover or have an additional amount or have a listing for observation. That does. Now, the $2,500 obviously doesn't cover the $9,100, right? But it's still better than nothing. That plan is literally like the cheapest add-on. A matter of fact, sometimes it's free when you add dental. Like, it's the craziest thing. Russell texted me the other day, Russell Graffrath, Russell and I've worked together for years. He actually came over to North American from Health Markets with me, all of that. And so we're always joking around about different scenarios. He texted me the other day, he's like, holy cow. He's like, they just got a free accident plan with their dental, because their dental discounted so much because of the Allstate discount, that he added an accident plan for basically free, the same price. So if you have a client call you and say, I need to get dental insurance, don't just quote dental insurance. Look at what the discount is if they add a $5,000 accident plan. Do you think, even if it's $5 more, do you think anybody's going to turn down a $5,000 accident plan added onto their bundle if their dental gets discounted so far and now they can protect the first $5,000 on accidents? No, they'd be dumb if they did. Like, how could they say no to that? That's less than a cup of Starbucks a month, right? They're protecting their whole family. And so those type of things you want to think about is, don't just quote dental. Go see how much that dental discounts if you add the accident or the hospital expense protection. You can go up to, on Allstate, you can go up to a $10,000 accident medical benefit. And on the accident medical expense plan, it's all claims for that accident for 6 months. So some carriers are 28 days, Allstate's 6 months. On the Trio Med, which is a bundle of critical illness and then accidents, 5,000 accident, and then and I think it also has accidental death on it, and then you can do the critical illness amount. On that particular plan, it's a year of claims. So when somebody has surgery, they usually have physical therapy, so it adds to the claims, right? So those are some things that you want to think about, is go in and play with the quoting before you get into that. So set your goal, know what your goal is, how much do you need to sell, and how can you leverage yourself? You sell a one-man ACA at $25 per member per month. Whoopee, you made $300. Not bad, not terrible. But if you add dental and accident, now you sell $80 a month worth of ancillary, you just increase that $300 to $600. You just worked smarter. So qualifying, knowing what products you have available. And by the way, the sickness hospitalization rider on the accident medical expense, I know I keep covering this, is guaranteed issue. There's no health qualifying questions on that. So that means every single ACA plan you sell, even if they are like the worst health ever, they can still get that sickness hospitalization rider that's on the accident medical expense. All comes from qualifying your clients. If you don't know about the Walmart opportunity, if you have 2 ACA carriers with us and your Allstate contracts, which obviously you have your Allstate contracts, so you wouldn't be on here, then please let us know if you want to get a store. There's still stores available, but we are getting a lot of traction on it. It is a great opportunity for you to get out and meet people, meet folks in your local community that either can turn into clients now or down the road. I did a lot of those things when I was first starting out in the business. Your income potential here is huge. My goal is to have, literally, not including my group because that's a separate goal, but my goal this year is to have a $15,000 check come January from Allstate every single month, because I'm keeping it simple. $15,000 a month. That's $50,000. That's approximately $50,000 in monthly ancillary volume, right? So that's my goal. I'm putting it out there. That sounds like a lot of money. My goals are way bigger because I already have a nice 6-figure income, and that's what this business opportunity gives us. Working from home in the winter, a lot of times I'm in my Uggs because my feet get cold, in my pajamas, in my Uggs, sitting, maybe have a nice shirt on and have my hair fixed, but from waist down, So that's what this business gives us. That's what this opportunity gives us, is whatever kind of, and the thing is too, like as a single mom, I have the time freedom to go, okay, I'm blocking this off for this, I'm blocking this off for this, I've got my senior, something with my senior this day, whatever. I take way more time off than I ever would in an 8-to-5 job. But I also make way more money because of the residual and working my butt off October through December. And that's where you want to have those goals. We also have the Allstate store. Make sure you go to the North American Insurance Services page, click store. You can get brochures, flyers, all of that option there. And I also want to encourage you, if you haven't got contracted with Allstate Group, go ahead and get the contract done. If that's something you want to dive into, our group rep is an incredible source of information. Next week, we'll probably dive back into some group stuff. But of course, last week we did the Beam Dental, which is an additional contract for the group side, but they can go down to groups of 2. So if you are doing group, I encourage you to make sure you go ahead and get that contracting and talk to Mike about the Beam opportunities with that. But guys, I have 9:30 straight up. I did remember to record this call. So I will get that. I will figure out soon how to get all this to a YouTube channel. So because I have to like do some weird sharing thing if I'm trying to share it from Teams. That's the complicated thing of why some of the calls haven't gotten uploaded. But I will work on that and get that there. But you guys have a great day. I would love if you want to share your goals with me. I would love to see what your goals are. You can send those to me. And I look forward to working with every one of you. Make sure that you join the Facebook page. If you're on Facebook and you haven't, I'm going to put it up in the chat box. It is Allstate. So somebody asked if we've done the ACA training, are we able to small groups? So small group actually doesn't need additional training. Small group is not an ACA. That you just have to have the contracting, and then Will can work with you on that. So I just posted the Facebook group there. If you haven't joined that, go ahead and join that. I've got the commission schedules up there. You may have to scroll back. It's under files though. Some mobile apps it doesn't work on. Well, the mobile app it does work on, but if you're on, like, you go to facebook.com from your mobile device, you won't be able to find the files. Russell actually pointed that out. But from a computer and from your regular mobile Facebook app on your phone, you can view the commission schedules while you're in bed researching or whatever you do at night. I do that. That's why I brought that up. But you guys have a great day.